Hello everyone, this is Diego Tinglehoi, and today the manga I want to talk about is none other than Majo to Yajuu, or The Witch and the Beast by Satake Kousuke. Now, The Witch and the Beast is a manga I've wanted to talk about for a long time now, along with Isak, which is another manga I've made a review for. It's a manga that kind of caught me off guard because it seemed like it had a good enough premise, but I wasn't sure how good it was going to be until I started reading it. And when I started reading it, it only had like what, 8 chapters out. So as the story continued, I realized that this was a manga I really loved and didn't hear a lot of people talking about, so I decided to make a review for it. Now, the manga is a fantasy adventure manga. It's also seinen, it has action and mystery. So, if you're a fan of those genres, you'll probably like it. It has witches, it has vampires, it has mages, it has monsters. So, if you like those kind of things, then this is the manga for you. Now, the story follows a duo. It follows a guy named Ashaf and a girl named Jido or Gudo. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it follows the two of them. Now, Ashaf is a magician, a mage. He can use magic. He's like the critical thinker of the group. He's the brains. He's the one that comes up with plans and stuff like that. While Judo is like the muscle of the group. She's the one that can take damage, take punches, and also dish out punishment too. So that's the role that each of them serves in the group. Now, Judo is kind of like the main character because it's kind of more of her story than it is of Ashaf. So Judo is trying to find the witch that cursed her years ago, right? And in order to do that, she needs to keep on hunting witches to find out if any of them can get her closer to the witch that she's looking for, right? And Ashaf is also kind of helping her do that. So it's kind of like a partnership that benefits both of them because Ashraf gets to do his own missions, hunt down witches and imprison them or defeat them, while also helping Jido come closer to finding out who cursed her and help maybe break her curse too. So that's basically the premise of the story. Two people with extraordinary powers, fighting witches and monsters, and in doing so, also brings them closer to the witch that cursed Jido. And if they can do that and find the witch, it brings up the possibility of Jido's curse being cured. So that's basically what the story is about. Now, as interesting as the story is, I also want to talk about the characters, the two partners, Jido and Ashraf. Now, like I said at the beginning, Ashraf is like the calm, calculating one, and he's the one that is kind of knowledgeable, you know. He's the one that has knowledge of magic and monsters and stuff like that. So, with that being said, he's like a good balance to Jido, who is more of just a punchy, fighty kind of person. She's kind of rash, she's kind of like a brute. She prefers to fight now and then, maybe talk later, while Ashraf is kind of the opposite. He prefers to avoid fights if they are avoidable. But if he can't, he just lets Judo run crazy and do her own thing, you know. So it's good to see. So that's one of the good things about the story. The two characters, their own partnership and their relationship dynamics is very interesting to watch because it's funny and it shows that even though they do not, for example, Judo doesn't really like Ashab that much, but even though we kind of know that they have a lot of faith in their partnership, right? Because if something happens to Ashav, you can bet that Judo will also come through for him. And if something happens to her, Ashav will also come through for her. So that's one of the good things about the story. It's a relationship that is good. It's a relationship that is also convincing. So that's a strong part of the story. Now, obviously, Ashraf and Jido aren't the only characters. There are quite a lot of cool characters in the story, a lot of characters that I hope to see more of in the future, and a lot of them are introduced quite early on in the story. So, if you're looking for cool side characters, so don't worry, the story has enough of them. Another thing that the story does well is the world building. That is a part of the story that I really love because whenever I read the story, I always feel like I'm back into this world that I left a few months ago, and it never feels off. It just feels perfect. Everything feels consistent, and obviously it's the story that is under 40 chapters, so there are obviously the world is obviously going to get expanded and stuff like that. Well, obviously, you know of Ashraf and Judo. We know that there's a mage association that have their own agenda. We know that the witches, different witches, a lot of witches have their own agendas, and we also know that there's a vampire faction, and even in that vampire faction, there are factions there that have their own agendas and stuff like that. So it's quite an interesting story with a little bit of politics and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot to keep you intrigued in this manga. The art is good. It's very beautiful. I love the art style. It's easy. I love the character designs and the art style. It's beautiful. It's the kind of art I love. Everything is easy. It's easy to see what's happening in each panel. It's very easy to see how the action flows whenever there's action and stuff like that. Action too is also a good thing in this story. The action is also good, easy to follow, easy to kind of navigate to, and yeah. So characters, it has it. Art, it has it. World building, the story has it. So the story has everything. It has everything you need, in this story. It also has your mages. It also has magic, vampires, witches, monsters. So yeah, it's a story that has everything you might ever want, to be honest. So it's also under like 40 chapters. It's like 37 chapters right now that are out. So it's not that big of a commitment. You can always get into it and keep yourself up to date with it. I wanted to talk about this manga because it's a manga I've been reading for quite a while, and it's a manga I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about too, just like Isak. So yeah, I thought I would just make a review and get it out there and see how many people see this video and get into the manga and actually like it and stuff like that. So yeah, this is my review for The Witch and the Beast. It's a very beautiful manga, interesting characters, a beautiful premise, wonderful world building, good action, great art, a very good villains and stuff like that. So yeah, in other words, it's just a really good concept, and it's a really good concept that has been brought to life by this mangaka. Anyway, this is Diego Tinklehoy, and wherever you are, I hope you have a blessed day.